And I'm like, oh, I'm from New York. And people are like, oh, the city? And I'm like, no, the forest. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know what you're thinking. It's been a while. A few months, many months since I last posted, which if you haven't seen, I taught everyone how to write a country song. You can check it out in the description box. I think that's a good place for it. Yes, I agree. That's where you'll find it. Go check it out. I don't have a great excuse for why I done disappeared, but the best one I can give is that I moved, which is not really a good excuse because I only moved a month ago. A month ago? That is nonsense. Crazy. It's gonna be a month on Saturday, which is gonna be the day before you guys can watch this. But today we are gonna do something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I've got lots of opinions and I tend to impose them on my family. My friends, I try not to because I try to, let them keep loving me as a friend. But my family has no choice. So they are subject to my country opinions. Now I'm going to subject it onto you, and that way you can make a rather well-rounded assessment of whether or not you like me. So let's just jump right in. Today we're doing an album review of Lainey Wilson's Sayin What I'm Thinkin. A little bit about Lainey herself. She's a Louisiana native who is making big waves in country music, at least in Nashville, because the stuff that's coming out of Nashville these days, there ain't nothing like this. She released her EP that has a bunch of these songs on it called Redneck Hollywood, which I am down for. That sounds right up my alley. Didn't listen to it though, because I didn't want to spoil this experience. She grew up on a farm and her dad played for her Glenn Campbell, Hank Williams, Leonard Skinner, the classics, some of the greats. And then she was exposed to bluegrass through her grandfather, who used to take her to festivals. And that sounds awesome. Like, my grandfather used to take me to the YMCA. That was pretty awesome too, not gonna lie. But bluegrass festivals, that sounds like a great grandfather and granddaughter bonding experience that I missed out on. But it's fine. I wasn't too familiar with who Lainey was and what she was all about. I'd seen her face a few times. I think I might have heard a song or two before this. I am happily surprised by her album. I am so glad that I got the opportunity to listen to this with fresh ears. So let's just jump right into my first impressions. This is my kind of country. Lainey's vocals is like a combination of Dolly Parton and Janis Joplin, and they had a baby and they made this album. The whole album has this retro roughness that between her vocals, the awesome guitar licks, and the killer bass lines. You can see it in Neon Diamonds, Sunday Best, Pipe, Small Town Girl, and WWDD. That's a tough thing to say. WWDD. Try saying that 10 times fast. You feel just transported into the early 70s, which, what a fun time. And you would think that this sound would feel dusty and old and uninteresting because it's been heard before, but absolutely not. It is refreshing to hear something this awesome and neo-traditional, but also kind of not. It's this whole new thing coming out of Nashville where everything has been sounding exactly the same. In some other songs, like Things I May Not Know, Keeping Bars in Business, and in the title track, Sayin What I'm Thinkin, she has like the still rugged tone. It is so smooth and elegant and gentle. It's like the girl that's like the guy's best friend and they all sleep on her because she's just one of the boys, but then she walks into prom wearing that beautiful gown. That's what her voice reminds me of on these songs. You've heard her rougher tone on these more like Janis Joplin type songs, but then she brings in that Dolly and just like sweeps you away with the I Will Always Love You, and I am in love with this album. Now let's just jump into the tracks that I thought stood out amongst the rest. It was very difficult because they're all very good, but I picked 4 that I think you should listen to if you have time to spare. First, we've got Small Town Girl. Oh man, the mix of that acoustic guitar and the electric guitar in the beginning, it really makes you want to move. Lainey says this is about a woman who likes to sleep around, and then she's having a confrontation with this woman, and I think that the lyrics are hilarious, and the lyrics convey that message very clearly. I think the melody is really strong and it carries the song well, and she utilizes pauses and just like adds that attitude in the right place so it doesn't sound like too mean. It's super subtle, but also not. I don't know, it's a really good song. It plays with a lot of different factors, and I think you'll really enjoy it. My favorite song on this album is LA, and I feel like it might not be everyone's favorite. However, I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite. It is 100% unique, even amongst the other great songs on the album. The song is about being from LA, meaning Louisiana, but people think she's from California. I mean, I understand. Maybe not fully, because I'm from New York, and people are like, oh, the city? No. The forest. There is some great imagery showing the difference between redneck and redneck Hollywood. And I think that people that come from rural towns and very small little podunk towns, like she came from a town of 300 residents. I came from a similar place. And so you move to a bigger country area, it just kind of, all that redneckness gets washed away, and I guess that's what she means by redneck Hollywood, and I think that's super relatable to people like me and people from really small towns. The melody is super catchy and singable, and the instrumentation, oh my. In the very beginning, from the very start, you are drawn in by this synth, a kazoo. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's cool as hell. There's a bass line in the bridge that just gets you going and then leads you up into that final chorus where the harmonica kicks in and you're like, I've hit bluesy country status. I have like elevated myself up to the next level. And that's why it's my favorite. The next song that stands out to me is Pipe. And I thought this was interesting for multiple reasons. The initial part of the song that drew me in was the chorus hook. I found it to be super catchy and fun to sing. It kind of just feels good on the tongue. After a few more listens, I fell in love with the guitar parts. The song has an embracing vibe that just makes you just want to sway and feel the music. Lainey describes this song as the redneck rulebook, and I think the lyrics really clearly state that. Just really good advice from someone who's lived a life full of life lessons. The last song on my list of standout songs is Keeping Bars in Business. Now, out of the four, this is the slower of the four, which we're gonna talk about because she's got those beautiful vocals. I can relate to this song personally. The story is just ups and downs of life and learning that that's life. And if your life keeps going, good or bad, we're all still gonna go to the bar to either celebrate our ups or drink away our downs. The song, aside from the story, has a cool psychedelic vibe in the beginning. She does like the and that kind of reverbs through the beginning of the song, which I think is really beautiful. That beginning part really caught my attention, and then I started listening to the lyrics and I was like, oh yes, I feel that. I understand, I've seen it, I've been there, and I think it's a super relatable song. In all of my album reviews, I will have a must listen to song, and there will be a Spotify playlist dedicated to the best of 2021. You can find the ones that will be on my YouTube channel, as well as songs that are on my must listen to list from my blog. Yes, I have a blog. It's at sarapierson.com, and you can just hit the blog button and all of my posts will be there. The reviews on this channel will be more based on of mainstream artists and country music, and on my blog I will do more up and coming, and there'll be more first impressions. Now we've made it to the must listen to song. Now I'm gonna do this in all of my album reviews. If you only have time for one song to listen to on a whole album, this is the song that you should listen to. The must listen to song on this album, in my opinion, is LA. It's the one I recommend, so go check it out. LA, if you only have one time for one song on this album, go check it out. LA. LA. So my final thoughts on this album, I think you can tell that I really enjoyed it, but the songwriting on this album is incredible. It's clever, it's catchy, and it makes you just feel things, which is what you want from a country album. It was tough to pick a few of my favorite ones because they're all so good. Even when I was writing down my notes for this video, I was listening to the album, just refreshing my memory, and I just got lost to the music. I was just sitting there and all of a sudden I was not working, I was just listening to great music. This album was produced by Jay Joyce, and he's worked with acts like Eric Church and Brothers Osborne, and you can really tell that he has put his little flair into this album because it sounds very similar to those, but in a very unique way. He took it in the right direction, because if they had taken these awesome songs that were so great and wasted them on overly pop production, it would have ruined the whole thing. But they didn't. It's perfect. At the end of every video, I will be giving you a recommendation rating out of 10. 10 cowboy hats? Should we go with a cowboy hat? 10 cowboy hats. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna start it right now. I didn't think about this before, but I think it should be. But this album is gonna be added to my perfect albums playlist. I have a few on there already. I'm not an album listener. I like a song here, I like a song there, I put it in a playlist, bam, I've got my music enjoyment for the rest of time. There are very few albums that I find to be perfect, and this is one of them. This album gets 10 out of 10 cowboy hats. It is just really, really good country music, and I think you should all go listen to it. If you like this review, if you want to see more reviews, hit the subscribe button. I know I said that last time and I was like, I'll be back. This time I'm coming back, okay? I am. I'm coming back. You'll see this face next Sunday again, I swear. I pinky swear. Got tiny pinkies, but they hold a lot of power. I plan on doing a bunch of videos, but if you want specifically more reviews, maybe I can bring my first impressions over from my blog if you enjoy those. Hit the like button. It helps me to know what you enjoy, and I would like to know. Also, leave a comment. Leave a comment of what album I should review next, and I will try my best to listen to it and give you a full, unbiased opinion of this piece of work. So I look forward to your suggestions. What are you still doing here? Come on, go listen to Sayin What You're Thinkin by Lainey Wilson, okay? I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great week. Bye!